Am I the a-hole for calling my SIL a mistress in front of everyone after she said I deserve paternity? My brother had extramarital affair and he divorced my SIL and got married to my current SIL, mistress. He basically ditched his wife and got married to this stupid woman, and our family is trying to accept her because of my brother. My SIL on this Sunday on our family gathering asked my wife to prove that our daughter is actually mine. We are both browns, all of us, and I am on the more fair side, but my daughter came out as completely brown. She said to my wife that it would be nice if she takes paternity test to prove it to our family that the child is mine. She said that my daughter could have inherited me and had to be a little fair as in skin. My wife couldn't say anything because of sudden shock, but I told her that my wife doesn't need to prove anything and she's not gonna be proving herself. She said that it's best that I find out about my heritage than after. I said she's a mistress, so she is maybe experienced or inexperienced. My mom pulled me aside and she asked me why would I say that out loud in front of everyone. I said with my loud voice that a second-rate mistress is questioning my wife and she should not be having an affair with married men. I left with my wife and my brother asked me and my wife to apologize to his wife. I said I will never apologize to anyone and I won't let my wife to do so even if she wants to. He said he didn't want to stay with someone, his ex, because of arranged marriage, and I replied with that I don't care, his wife is still a mistress and a stupid mistress to ask other women for paternity. Am I a hole? My family is broken. In fact, we broke off because of that witch mistress, but I will never apologize to her or my brother for her accusations towards my wife. NTA, glass houses and stones do not mix. NTA. So your mom and brother were okay with her questioning the paternity of her grandchild but not with you calling her out for cheating? F that and never apologize. OP replies. My mom wasn't okay with that mistress's accusations. She was just trying to do whatever she was, for both of us, and I don't think my mom would actually question my daughter's legitimacy, and I think she's did so for her other son and just forgot about me for a bit. Next story. Am I the a-hole for ordering more food when I found out we're splitting the bill? So we all have that friend that isn't very hungry until learning we're splitting the bill, then orders all kinds of expensive stuff. Well, that's my friend Holly, 38F, and lately she's also been forgetting her wallet, so she's paying nothing now. I spoke to her about it, first making sure she's okay and letting her know if she's struggling I'm happy to buy her a burger or something to help her out, but not expensive stuff or drinks. She responds that no, she actually just got a bonus and is just forgetful. In my mind, okay, then why didn't you Venmo when requested? Now on to the am I the a-hole? She invited me out for dinner and drinks to a chop house, expensive, to talk about an upcoming trip she's booked to Bali. I told her beforehand I don't want to spend $400 on dinner, so I'd be going light. On to dinner, she orders 2 apps, a salad, 2 bottles of wine, huge steak with multiple sides. I ordered an old-fashioned and a salad topped with steak slices. Waitress comes by to ask about bill and dessert. Keep in mind I've clarified before this we are doing separate bills. She goes, oh, I didn't realize we'd be ordering so much, we're celebrating by the way, oh you're so busy we'll just split it. I shot over, really Holly? And smirks at me and goes, it's no big deal. And here's where I'm likely the her smirk set me off. So I went to the waitress and asked if she'd put in an order for 2 entrees to go. When the bill came it was $427, $140 was my order, and Holly was pissed. We split the bill. I smiled with my to-go orders and haven't responded to her since. I honestly felt no guilt at all, but a few in our friend group said it was an a-hole move. Am I the a-hole? To clarify guys, there is no win here. I spent more money than I intended and have a shifty friend who tries to use people. It's sucky all around. I just wasn't going to eat a small dinner and pay a large bill, at least this way she had to help pay for me having a full nice meal I wanted. Also secretly I think she couldn't afford to pay for what she had ordered, and now maybe she won't order $200 plus meals out of fear that others will too. I'd say it was just desserts. I wouldn't have done it, I would have simply stepped in and insisted on separate bills, but this will either make an impression, or stop her going to dinner with you. Maybe a little osh, but in a good cause. NTA. Not sure how this is revenge. You still overpaid and bought food you didn't want to buy. You should have just told the waitress to separate the check. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my American friend I will not stop referring to myself as being fat? I, 23F, am a non-American who's living in America. Because I have watched American TV shows and movies all my life, I know that many Americans consider being called fat an insult. I don't call anyone in the States fat. While hanging out with 3 female friends, I had made a comment about the way I eat as the reason why I'm fat. One friend, Jamie, 25F, took my aside to tell me I shouldn't be talking bad about myself. I explained that I don't feel bad about myself, that the word fat is just a descriptor like the word tall. Jamie asked me if I please refrain from calling myself fat since her and I are of similar size. I told her I will not. That it's my body and I can choose how to describe my own body. She got really upset with me and accused me of fat shaming her. My roommate Emily, 25F, said she's not taking sides. I don't want to ask our friends to choose sides, so I'm here. Am I the a-hole? I bothered folks telling them I like to eat and I don't like to sweat. Of course I'm fat, and it's not a bad thing. The number of times I got told, yeah, but you don't look that big, or girl, you're still pretty. NTA. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad's wife I don't care that she has cancer and thinking she's lying? Oh boy, it's been a long time and I went back and read some comments on my original post. And I can give y'all the short version of what's happened in the last year. To keep it short, she lied. My dad and her had an ugly divorce that ended with my father being homeless. Francine winded up revealing that she owed over $60,000 to her ex in alimony and he was taking the house where her, my father and sister were living. The week of Thanksgiving last year, she kicked them both out, and they were both homeless up until August of this year. Before anyone asks, no, I didn't have the means to help them. The entire thing was crazy as crap. She broke off the key in the lock to stop them from getting their things, stole a bunch of money from my dad and bought a house in New York, destroying my dad's credit, and so many other petty and disgusting things. Yes, she's still alive. Yes, she was questioned about her cancer. She's fine. My dad realizing everything was a lie was very, very upsetting to watch. Emo, she destroyed his life. To those that said I was the a-hole, suck a jerk. I've officially started my clinicals and hope to wind up in peds oncology after graduation. I think ABT my grandmother all the time and wish she was alive to talk to her about everything. As someone who has been in the cancer world from the time I was 16, 27 at the end of the month, going into ped. ONC. Is amazing. My nurses were some of the only people who kept me sane during my long stays, and I could never thank them enough. I actually named my service dog after my favorite nurse, who would come in early to snag my chart from whoever was on my night shift. Lol. That said, in regards to everything else, I am so sorry. Is there anything your father can do legally against Francine? Like, prove she prevented him from obtaining his property and then the theft? Next story. Am I the a-hole for buying all the hot and ready pizzas from local gas station? So, this just happened. I live in a very rural area, so our gas stations are a cross between gas station, convenience store, and small restaurant. One of the gas stations I frequent has really good personal pan pizzas and they are decently priced. My whole family enjoys them when we get them and everyone is home this afternoon, so I decided to pick some up since I happen to be near this gas station. It was just about 2 p.m. and they had 6 personal pizzas ready. Knowing my family, that is kind of the perfect amount. They also had up different kinds and we like to mix and match, so I grabbed them. The food service person looked at me and said, "Are you kidding me?" I was a little stunned and I just said, "Huh?" They proceeded to tell me I was an a-hole for taking all the pizzas. I explained they were going to my family and not just myself. They said it's no excuse to take all the pizzas. I was bewildered and asked, isn't the purpose of making them to sell them? The food service worker looked at the cashier and said, you can make some more. I'm going outside for a smoke. The cashier didn't say anything to the food service worker or me, rang me up, bagged the food, and gave me my receipt. As I was walking to my vehicle, I could hear the food service worker talking to someone on their phone about the effing a-hole who thinks this is a goddamned buffet. The whole thing left a sour taste in my mouth, and while driving home I kept thinking to myself, am I an a-hole for buying those pizzas? Am I the a-hole? You should have sat in the parking lot and waited for the next 6 pizzas to be ready, then gone in and bought all 6 of those. NTA, but I am. OP replies, I feel like that would have broken them. Next story. My in-laws sent my son home in a new jacket, but then took it back because it was theirs. I criticized this behavior. Am I the a-hole? The in-laws are very much the we raised our kids, we're not raising yours type. They're really not involved much, aside from taking my son for a few hours here and there, about twice a month. His face plastered all over their socials, pictures stolen from my posts because they're seldom around. I very much envy active grandparents. My parents are dead. Last night they watched him at their place and dropped him off. As they dropped him off, he arrived wearing a new jacket. Super cute, the in-laws were proud of it, boasting. Then they took it off my son and said he can't keep it. They paid for it, it's theirs, they want him to have it at their home. But with how things are, he may not even wear this jacket again before he outgrows it. It's not like they take him to the park or anything. They absolutely do not help us with providing in any sense, Like I didn't even get a baby shower. I said nothing, until they left. Ultimately, my partner defends everything his parents do. Nothing new. I shouldn't have bothered saying anything. I know it's just a jacket, but this isn't anything new. Christmas and birthdays are another example. They'll gift him so much, but won't allow a single thing to go home. I'm then taking my son home as he's crying over gifts he doesn't get to play with. Then they complain about how things go unused, while they're the ones who want so little to do with any of us. There are no other children in the family, just my near 3-year-old. The sister-in-law, 30, lives in the home, has never had a partner and is the biggest recluse I know, but wants a child. The idea is that one day she'll have a baby through insemination, and raise it in the home with her parents, so really, everything that's bought for my son actually belongs to her non-existent children. But I've told my partner I wish my mom wasn't dead. That despite how she abused me, I feel she'd be much more loving towards my son than she was with me, and more than his emotionally void mother. The in-laws have been emotionally abusive toward my partner and I, even demanding their son leave me while I was pregnant or they couldn't be his family anymore. So yeah, I can't see past that stuff. Am I the a-hole? Edit: we are in therapy and may be separating. I've exhausted myself trying to snuff out this behavior and toxic environment. I am taking steps to leave the whole situation, but didn't add all of that for the sake of focusing on the jacket scenario. I am told that I'm abusive because I'm trying to control everyone, when really I just want better treatment for my son. Yeah, at this point I would just say don't get my son any gifts NTA. Next story. Am I the a-hole if I don't give up the couch in the delivery room to my mother-in-law? Literally at the hospital waiting for the birth of my first child right now, so I'll try to keep it short. Got a while to go though. There is a couch that converts to a single bed and a reclining chair. Obviously I'm staying here the entire time to be with the mother of my child, so I figure I get the couch. Mother-in-law invited herself to stay the night. Spouse is too nervous to tell her to go back to the house, at the hospital. She keeps making snide remarks and I can tell she is going to be upset if I don't offer up the couch. I personally think I am here for the birth of my child. Why should I have to be uncomfortable and sleep in the reclining chair I know I won't be able to sleep in? The way I see it is, I am sleeping on this couch no matter what, as I'm going to need to be well rested to possibly take care of a baby tomorrow. Her choices are the recliner or going back to the house. If she chooses to sleep on the recliner rather than drive back to our place and stay there, that's on her. Am I the a-hole if I don't offer it up and let her sleep on the couch? I know there's not a lot of info, but just trying to gauge if I'm just being stubborn and unreasonable or not. There's a long history that kind of leads to me not even wanting to offer it, but don't feel like going into all that. Can provide more info if wanted. Update: I appreciate all the responses, many were very helpful. I read through most, but there was too many to reply to all. Not too much happened. So I did end up just offering the couch, to which she declined. She slept on the recliner and I on the pull-out couch. Doesn't seem like there is any issue brewing yet, but only time will tell. If there is an issue, we will only hear about it in a couple weeks. For the few people that think I'm trying to sleep while my partner is actively delivering the baby, that's clearly not the case lol. They haven't even induced her yet and are taking it very slow. There was plenty of time to sleep for all of us. I appreciate y'all's concern for my partner though. NTA. Father of child takes priority over grandmother. Just how it is. NTA. Have the nursing staff tell her she needs to leave as only one person is allowed overnight. You being the father, you get to stay. I'm sure they can find a way to word it that doesn't put your wife in a bad spot and gets her mom the F out of the room. Or, your wife could just say go home. It's not Mill's baby or her moment. I know that can be hard, but what new mom wants is what should be done. Period. I hope you guys like this video. If you did, make sure like, comment, share and subscribe the channel. Our posts